Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to Adam McKola TV. I am Adam. This is the Aftermath Live. Just myself today. No Dean here. We'll get Dean on the channel again very, very soon. I'll give him a shout at some point. But we are back with the Aftermath Live. It's Partizan 0, Manchester United 1. And that is what we're discussing today. Now, yesterday, I was bored by the game. I don't think the game was that great. I was a bit entertained in the first half. I thought we could have had a goal or two more than we actually did score, which was the penalty. And in the second half, I was pretty bored. We allowed Partizan to come out onto us. We allowed them to dominate the game. And if anybody was going to score, apart from a few moments on the break, it looked like it was going to be Partizan Belgrade. But I tweeted after the game that there were more positives than negatives. And that, of course, I wasn't too fussed by this game in particular. I was more worried, and of course, I'd be more worried if we performed like that against Norwich. But after this week, after playing Liverpool and then coming away from home, getting 7 points out of 9, getting that first win since March, I wasn't overly concerned. But a lot of people replied to me, Manchester United fans, and they were concerned. They were complaining. They were complaining about Ollie, the players, this, that, and the other. And it got me asking, should we be worried? Now, because of the stats, when you look at the pure stats alone, Manchester United had one shot on target. But during the game, we actually had 3, 4, 5 moments where we probably could have and should have scored. Jesse Lingard hits the post. Scott McTominay heads just wide when he should have buried the chance. Harry Maguire had an opportunity that he didn't header and he didn't connect properly. And then in the second half, there was an opportunity for Mata. There was an opportunity for Rashford to slip Daniel James in. There were chances there for Manchester United. And we were quite open and attacking in the first half, although it was a very open, frantic game. It was the second half that was more of a worry, and a concern could be that regardless of who we play, we can't perform for 90 minutes, generally speaking. Even at the Liverpool game, tactically we did quite well, but we slipped up and a lack of concentration in the last 5 minutes, it cost us. So should we be worried by this failure to create chances? Or is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer just kind of getting by with what he has at the moment? Because without Paul Pogba, Manchester United clearly don't have enough creativity in the side. Mata, Jesse Lingard, they're not performing. Angel Gomez probably looks like he's leaving at the moment. So is Angel Gomez even going to be involved with this Manchester United team anymore? And you're looking at where this creativity is going to come from. Obviously, you're hoping your wide players, Daniel James, Marcus Rashford, when they all play together, can create something for your number 9 in Martial. But Martial, who had a very quiet game yesterday, which you'd expect being his first start in 2 months, despite the fact he scored the goal. He had a quiet game. He was off the pace quite clearly, but he didn't actually have any opportunities created for him. And that's the case for many of our strikers. We saw it for Lukaku last season. Even under Jose Mourinho, we weren't creating enough chances. And now, yes, we've trimmed the squad massively, but we're still not creating chances. And is this a massive worry for the rest of the campaign? We're going to be without Paul Pogba. Fingers crossed we'll have Anthony Martial available Sunday. But we're going to be without Paul Pogba again. So how do we get over this lack of creativity into the Manchester United side? Because you can't say when they've been playing, Rashford, Martial have had loads of chances. They haven't had loads of chances, have they? So we can't say that our strikers are being wasteful. In fact, Martial, 4 starts, 3 goals. Marcus Rashford scored a few goals. He isn't missing, sitters. So you're looking at him, we're not creating enough chances, and we have to do that. And I just want to know what you guys are thinking, how you're feeling about this. I can see Zach, Anthony, Giuseppe, Good Hope in the comments as well. Because yesterday, when you look at it, we went on a long trip to Europe in the Europa League, Thursday night, played a B team, played some youngsters, played some players that were just returning from injury, got a clean sheet, got a 1-0 win, got 3 points, come back home. On the face of it, it's not a bad result. The performance wasn't great. We got 3 points. 7 points out of 9 in the Europa League. But it's that lack of creativity and the lack of taking shots. I think we scored 3 goals in the Champions League this season with like 2 shots on target or something ridiculous like that. It is absolutely crazy. So let us know what you're thinking. Sorry, 2 goals and 2 shots. Zach thinks it's average players. we shouldn't have kept Sanchez. Sorry, Duke. I disagree with you there. Thank you for tuning in, by the way. But we can disagree with each other, and I do disagree with you. We should not have kept Sanchez. Sanchez was a waste of time, a waste of space, and a waste of money. And even getting half of his wage bill off the wage bill was a good thing to do. Let's be real, he didn't provide anything to Manchester United. Mason Greenwood's already scored, I think, as many goals as he did in a Manchester United shirt in the short space of time that he's been playing. So, nah. We shouldn't have kept it. It's all well and good living in hindsight, and people like to look back in the past and think it was very near ago that Alexis Sanchez was stinking the place out. And I actually don't think this team would have been any better with Alexis Sanchez in it. We've scored more than one goal on one occasion in the last 16 games. Yeah, that's an interesting one as well. We have, we haven't scored more than once since that game against Chelsea on the opening day of the season. So since August, we haven't scored 2 or more goals. That needs to change because you're not going to keep a clean sheet every game. We've seen in the league actually that, our defence hasn't been the issue. When you look at pure numbers, we've got one of the best defences in terms of conceding goals. So that hasn't been the issue. It's been creating chances, scoring chances. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, has he got the players at his disposal? Should he be doing more with what he has? Should he be trying something else? We have seen a willingness to change tactics and change the way he's playing things. He's playing 3 centre-halves at the moment. We went with that again yesterday. But we need to see more. We need to get a result against Norwich. That's for sure. It's a must-win. I'll do the preview for the Norwich game tomorrow. But that Norwich game is a must-win. We have to be getting a result in that game. We have to. But I think, whilst I am concerned about the lack of creativity, I'm not going to complain so much about yesterday. I thought James Garner did pretty well, considering it was his first start for Manchester United, and he started in a game in front of an atmosphere like the one we witnessed yesterday. So you can't complain about James Garner's performance. Brandon Williams with a man of the match performance. He won the penalty with a great run. Defensively looked quite good. He was getting stuck in as well. I'd say keep him in the team for that game against Norwich. He's looking good at left back. So I was happy to see that from James Garner and of course from Brandon Williams. As I said, them guys starting there. Martial getting 60 minutes under his belt. It wasn't a good performance from him. He obviously scored his penalties, pretty cool, pretty calm. You'd expect him to slap that away. We need more from him in terms of performance, but 60 minutes under his belt. After that 10 minutes he got against Liverpool, will he start against Norwich? It was just good to get him back because we need goals. As we've seen, we've only scored more than once in one game this season. That was against Chelsea. We need to be doing that, scoring more goals, and Anthony Martial will obviously help us score goals. He must be feeling pretty clinical at the moment. He's played 4 games. I think he's made 4 starts this season. He's played in 5 games and he's got 3 goals. The one game he didn't get a goal was Crystal Palace, if I remember correctly. It has to change. Ollie isn't the man, says Zach. Williams was brilliant. What do you think about Ollie's new formation, 3-4-2-1? It'd be interesting to see whether we do continue going with this. Now, because of the lack of midfielders that we have at the minute, it probably makes sense. We can't play a midfield free, a central midfield free, because we just haven't got the numbers. While Pogba's not here, maybe it makes sense to push on your wing backs, push on them, allow them to get involved in the attacks. Let your back 3 centre halves sit there. Yesterday it was one midfielder who was James Garner, and McTominay was joining in the attacks with Lingard and Mata and Anthony Martial, which was interesting as well. So maybe we will continue to go with this. Good hope. Sorry, I'm trying to read out some comments. Peter says, stop with that. We don't have anyone that creates. It's just not good enough. We have 3 first-team players. Sorry, phone is screwed. No. I wasn't making excuses for the players that started yesterday. I've mentioned Matta's not performing, Jesse's not performing. They're the players that should be creating chances. We've got a super chat as well from Jerry. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you very much, Jeremy, for contributing to the channel with the super chat. He says positives from yesterday was Garner and Brandon. I hope Brandon starts on Sunday. Come on, United, from Malta. And I've got to agree with Jeremy as well. I'd definitely start Brandon Williams at left back on the weekend against Norwich. Now, what I will say is Luke Shaw's got to be fearful for his spot. I think with Ashley Young playing there, Rojo playing there, it's pretty much a given that Luke Shaw is going to get his spot back when he's fully fit. But with Brandon Williams playing like he's playing, with Ethan Laird now on the horizon, back in training, and he's training with the first team, there's competition for that spot at left back. And you'd argue, given that we've got Lindelof or Twanzebe alongside Harry Maguire, you'd argue that the left back position, is probably the position that is most up for grabs in that defensive line. De Gea's spot is his. Wan-Bissaka's spot is his. Maguire's spot is his. Centre half, if we're starting our strongest team between Lindelof and Twanzebe. Left back, you'd say Luke Shaw at the moment, but if Brandon Williams continues playing like he is, and I'd play him against Norwich, Norwich have got a lot of injuries in their side, a lot of injuries, and they're going to be looking, to play a young team as well. They're going to be playing youngsters. We can play youngsters too. This gives us an opportunity. And I actually think he offers us a lot more in terms of going forward. We've seen a willingness to burst into the box yesterday, winning that penalty. He's a little bit scrappy. He likes to get involved. We like that as well. A little bit of fight, a little bit of bite. I like him. Keep him in. It is the German top here. I don't support Germany. I just like this away shirt. It's pretty neat. Sam Clark says Ed out, Glazers out, Ollie out. So he wants all three of them out. I do think... look, you know my opinions on Ed Woodward. Don't think he's a footballing man. Don't think he should be making footballing decisions. Wouldn't have him anywhere near the football club, but unfortunately he's going nowhere while the Glazers are here. And you know my opinion on them. I don't want any one of them near the club either. I'd love for them to do one as well. But until someone stumps up however much they want, 4 billion or whatever it is, they're not going anywhere either. As for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I don't think this experiment's going to work with him, is my personal feeling right now. But I do actually think the squad overhaul, in fact, the players he's got rid of, the players he's brought in, that he's been able to bring in, and the young players that is promoted into the first team will benefit the next manager. So I actually think, look, we have to go through this pain. That's why I kind of don't know what people expected yesterday, especially when you saw the team. I was happy to win that game. And it shows where we are at the minute. Now, I'm not lowering my expectations. As a Man United fan, we should always expect to, be challenging for the big trophies. But we need this kind of season. I'd love, if we're not going to get top four, miss out on the Europa League. If we're not going to get Champions League football next season, miss out on the Europa League. Europa League doesn't benefit us. I don't think it helps us bring in players. And if anything, it ruins us. I'd love us to just have a go at the domestic campaign if we're not in the Champions League. But whilst I don't want to lower our expectations, we kind of have to for this season, especially when you look at the squad. I said this at the start of the campaign. Look at that squad. It's not good enough. An injury to Martial, an injury to Pogba, and we're fucked. Look what happened. An injury to Martial, the goals dry up. The injury to Pogba, the chances dry up. We're not getting chances, and we're not taking the chances we do make. And yesterday, it was actually a half-decent result. We've not won away from home in a long time, since March 2019. Partizan Belgrade haven't lost at home in European competition for 2 years or something. Now, they're not a great side, granted. They're not a great side, sitting 5th in Serbian League. But we're not in a great position. And we went out there, we played younger players and whatever. So I'm kind of not complaining about that game. But I am fearful for this Norwich game that if we perform like we have seen, not creating enough chances, then there will be an issue. But also, if we perform like we have been in terms of the Liverpool game, in terms of the application, in terms of the tactical nous. Now, that doesn't mean just keep sticking with what we have. Change it up where necessary. Ziad says, are you Ollie out? I'm never in or out on any manager. It was like with Jose. People say, are you Jose out or Jose in? I have an opinion. I don't like to be... I'm a Manchester United fan. I don't want to be put under a bracket of, he wants that manager out or he wants that manager in. No, I'll give my opinion. After a game, I'll give my opinion. Ollie might have made some bad substitutions there. Or you know what, his tactics were quite well. Against the Liverpool, I said his tactics were well. Towards the end, his management of the game could have been better. So I do. People act like, Adam, you don't criticise Ollie. I do. But also, as a supporter, we should want them to do well. I wanted Jose to do well, but I was also able to give my opinion and say, I'm not sure it's going to go on like this anymore. I don't sure he's the man to take us forward. And at the end, he wasn't. He even said it himself. He deserved to get sacked. But I don't like to be pushed under brackets, Ollie out, Ollie in, or Jose in, Jose out, or whatever in, out. Because then that affects your decision making. That affects your opinion. Because when it devoids you from the chance to take a balanced view. How can you take a balanced view if you subscribe to one opinion? How can you look at the good side of things if you're Ollie out? And how can you look at the bad side of things if you're Ollie in? How can you have a balanced perspective? And I always think it's about balance. It's always about balance. And same with players as well. I'm able to still, when I see players or meet players, go up to them, have a picture, have a handshake, have a chat. Because I'll criticise their football. I ain't going to abuse them personally and start calling them this, that and the other, effing and jeffing and all that. That's not me. It's a football game. It's Manchester United. We want them to win. It's, something that we're all passionate about. It's a religion or whatever. But at the same time, you should be able to have balance in your opinion. Have passion. Have balance. Passion, balance, all that perspective. Whatever. You get me. But I've said it from the start. I said it from March after the PSG game. I've said it all the time. I'm never sure this was the right thing to do. We should have went out there, interviewed a few managers, seen who came with the best plan. If Ollie was that man, by all means. But we didn't do our research. We didn't find out who else was available. We didn't cast our net out there. And it's slapdash, scattergun approach by Woodward and the Glazers that we've seen ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left. Vazim says, Adam, Ollie said we need to be at our best to beat Norwich. Is this acceptable? We do need to be at our best to beat Norwich. Beaten Man City this season. They've also been beaten by Aston Villa 5-0 or something. So they're a team that can perform well and perform shit. We need to be at our best in any Premier League game to win it. I don't think that's as bad as we aspire to be like City comments, although we'd love to be in their position right now. But I think sometimes people, when you see something on paper, you look at it, you think, wow. But actually, you'd probably say that to your mate before the game. When the game's coming on Sunday, and you're sitting there with your mate watching the game or whoever, you're not going to say, we can beat these at second gear today. United need to be at their best every single game if we want to win it in the Premier League this season. We haven't got the luxury of having 10 world-class players anymore. We hopefully build the squad to a point where we get that. Andrew says the problem with the club is the board. Alex says, would you like Jackie Grealish at Manchester United? I'd take James Maddison over him. But Jackie Grealish in the squad, it's not bad. He creates a lot of chances. He's a brave player. He plays good football. But there's other players that have before him. Sam says, I'm Ollie out. I don't think he's good enough, but I don't see the point in changing manager when Ed Woodward and the Glazers are still in charge, because it's still going to be the same old story. Ziad says, why is there so much criticism on Martial and Pogba, and when they are injured, fans say, oh, we missed them? It's true. It's the way things go. But when you look at it, Anthony Martial is our most clinical finisher in front of goal, and Pogba is the one that creates the most chances. And last season he was our top goal scorer, so it's a little bit weird. Zephyr says, I'm Ollie in. He's laying the foundation. See, that's the thing. Look, Ollie's decision making behind the scenes could be right. His squad management, his signing players, his getting rid of players, his coaching of some of the players. Things behind the scenes may be perfect. Or, in fact, all of them things, but the coaching could be spot on. And that'll mean he'll lose his job eventually, because you have to have everything. And I do think he is actually laying some foundations for someone to build on. I'm not sure whether he'll be the man that will build on these foundations and bring us the big trophies. I'd love nothing more for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to have this job for 3-4 years and end up winning the Premier League and Champions League with it. probably not going to happen. And we're probably going to see him take this team probably to the end of this season, the middle of next season. He might get sacked by Christmas, who knows? But we'll probably see him take this team for another 6 to 12 to 18 months, and then someone else will come in and add 2, 3, 4 players and hopefully make it a winning team again. If the club is sold to the Saudis, they can invest in a proven manager. Ali can't be getting paid anywhere near what Jose was getting. He's not Giuseppe, and I'm not sure about the Saudis coming in, to be totally honest with you. Not sure I'd be happy with that at the club, personally. They're a little bit sketchy, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'd love the Glazers to be gone, that's for sure. Our biggest problem is we don't have technically gifted players. Matter is over the hill, says Daz. Damn Square says it's depressing. Mata, Matic and Young need to go also. Is that coaching Ollie's fault? He inherited the coaching staff. Did he inherit the coaching staff? Well, he inherited Kieran McKenna, Michael Carrick. Sam says McKola is therefore the fans' favourite on these fan cams, whichever channel it is. Not sure about that one. Tell them to subscribe to my channel then. From Kyrgyzstan says, man, you are ignoring my third comment now. What is the matter? First of all, apologies, mate. I was going to answer your one about Paul Scholes and Ozil. So first of all, can you tell me what Scholes' comments were on Ozil? I'm guessing there might have been a creative player is available in Ozil. Bring him in. And I wouldn't lie in saying that I had this thought myself. But ultimately, you're looking at a man that's on big bucks. He'd come in, he'd probably want to be one of the most highest paid players at the club. It's questionable whether he's committed at the moment. Questionable whether he's got the work ethic. Questionable whether he can still do it. Now, actually, when he's played for Arsenal, he has played half decent. Could we get him in on a cheap? Probably not. But you never know. The last deal we did with Arsenal didn't work out too well. So I'm not too sure about that one. At all. Someone said hoovering in the background. I don't think it is. I think it might be the laptop overheating. So I do apologise about that one. I'll try and move the laptop away from the mic, which I have now done. Has that improved anything? Dybala or Maddison, says the app. If Dybala was going to happen, surely it would have happened in the summer just gone. I think Dybala is obviously the superior player. I do want Maddison though. Zephyr says Ozil's done out here. Havertz will be better than Ozil, says Daz. No Ozil, says Giorgio. And Jacobs joined us in the comments. Pereira and Fred are not Brazilian, some say. They're definitely Brazilian. They're definitely Brazilian, that's for sure. Ollie has the balls to make difficult decisions, says Good Hope. I think there's a decision that he made in the summer, which if you believe reports and you believe what he says, that he made, which was not just bringing in any old player. Now, I like that attitude. But it's very detrimental, and you've got to be very confident that you're going to get the time. Because if you're not confident that you're going to get the time, and you get injuries like we have done, and you're lacking strikers, you're lacking goals, you're lacking points, you're lacking progression in cup competitions, because ultimately the aim of the game is to score goals. If Martial's injured and Rashford's injured and we got no strikers, just Mason Greenwood, we're fucked. In fact, we've seen that we're pretty fucked when Martial's injured on his own. So it's a risky and a brave decision by Ali. It's one to me that suggests that he's confident of getting time. Whether we will or not is just another story altogether. Joe, cheeky bugger. Ramon's in the comments as well. Thank you for joining us, Ramon. Great to have you as part of the channel. Ali seems to be a better director of football than he is manager, says Ray. 2 tiers in a bucket says they don't play like Brazilians, so they don't know, which is a shame. Yeah. How are you feeling after that game anyway? I have got some player ratings for you actually as well, seeing as it's the Aftermath Live. And those are my player ratings. Now as you'll see, I've given a couple of 7s out. I've given a 7 to Sergio Romero, clean sheet and goal. Didn't look too flustered by what he had to do. Kept another clean sheet, 7. Harry Maguire, 7. I know he got sat on his arse at one point, but he held that defence together quite well. At times when Jones and Rojo were getting dragged out of position. A lot of crucial clearances. I thought Harry Maguire probably deserved his 7. Phil Jones, 6. Rojo, 6. Can't be too hard on them because we kept the clean sheet. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, 7. Although that's probably a bit fair. If I could give him a 6.5, I would. But a 6.5 wouldn't fit on the graphic. So I've gone with a 7. I've gone with Brandon Williams at 8. He was my man of the match, and I've gone with that. Scott McTominay at 6. James Garner's performance actually was maybe a 6.5 as well. But again, with that, I've given him a little bit of benefit of the doubt, seeing as it was his first start away from home in Europe. Jesse Lingard a 5. Matter of 5. Don't think they contributed enough. Their ratings have been boosted just by the mere fact that we've won the game. You know when you're in pro clubs and you're having a stinker and your rating's gone down to 5.2 and then your team scores and it goes back up to 6.1. This is the equivalent of that right now. And Anthony Martial, 6 is what I've gone with. Now, what you guys are saying in the comments is you would give Maguire maybe McTominay's score and McTominay maybe Maguire's score. Sorry. Yeah, so you give Maguire a 6 and a McTominay a 7. Zach says McTominay was poor though. Ziad says, how long do you see Ollie lasting for? I think he'll be here at the end of the season. Whether he starts the next season, I don't know. But I think he'll be here at the end of the season. By the same token, I wouldn't be surprised if he got sacked. But nevertheless, those are my player ratings for yesterday's game. Ilya's in the comments as well, and he's gone with Williams 9, Jones 5, Maguire 6, Rojo 6, McTominay 6, Garner 5, Lingard 0, Mata 3, and Martial 6. Sean Atwood with the super chat. Thank you very much, Sean Atwood. He's gone Sancho, Maddison, and Ndidi would be perfect. I can't see us getting Maddison and Ndidi from Leicester City, but I could see us getting maybe just Maddison, seeing as his dream to play for Man United and all that, although I'm sure we'll have competition for his signature. As for Jadon Sancho, I think that one probably depends on whether we're in the Champions League or not, but that's where I'm going with that one. Thank you very much, Sean, again, for helping support the channel. I really do appreciate every single one of you, and whether you do a super chat or not, I'll try and read out. Obviously, I'll read out all the super chats, but I'll try and read out as many comments as possible. Ziad says, why was Ollie fist pumping the air? I think he was cheering the away end, to be honest. And I think in those circumstances, away from home, you go to the away end and you give him a round of applause. And I don't think there was anything wrong with that. I think people are starting to be really picky with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I'm a bit uncomfortable with it. Like I was trying to explain earlier, when people just get their heart sets on certain opinions, and then everything has that perspective bias on it, like because you're Ollie in or Ollie out, you can't see no good or no bad in them. And I think you just got to relax a little bit, man. Just chill out. For God's sake as well, he's one of us, you know what I mean? So it's not like he doesn't want to do the best. Whether you think he's the right man or not, you can have that opinion. But he's literally one of us. You got to back him. He wants the best for the club. And when I say you've got to back him, I mean support him. I don't mean you've got to say, yes, he's the man, he's perfect, he's the right manager. Because he's obviously not. But back him. Don't you want him to do well? Isn't it? Like, don't you want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to do well? Either isn't any beef at all. Just don't. It's not my cup of tea. Are you returning back to career mode? Ziad asks. I was thinking about that the other day. I've been playing some Ultimate Team recently. Do you want any FIFA PES content? I'm hooking up with Steer and we're going to be making a lot more content together. So if you want anything, just let us know, man. And we'll get on it. I think me and Steer are going to get a podcast going Just trying to decide what platform, my channel, his channel, whether we alternate or not. But we're going to be doing a podcast soon, and maybe when we're linking up more regularly, we can get things done like FIFA videos, maybe PES videos, stuff like that. So let us know. Lewandowski's old for United. He's a goal scorer though, isn't he? Kyrgyzstan. St. Cole, thank you for commenting. PES greater than FIFA, then we can get a match. Says John D. I know Jacob imagined also Zach talking about Weghorst from Wolfsburg, who he thinks would be sick. Ollie challenge, signing. That's a good one, the Ollie challenge. Now you've planted that idea in my head. I might do it, but can I make signings in January or not? Let me know. I've got the Elgato and that, so might just get on it and see where we go from there. Anyway, guys, it has been an absolute pleasure speaking with you guys tonight. I really enjoyed every single last one of you for joining us. This has been the Aftermath Live. Usually it's with my mate, Dean. He's not here today, but hopefully he'll be back for the next one after the Norwich game. I will be at Carroll Road on Sunday, so if you're down at the ground, come and say hello to us. Come and get on a full-time Devils fan cam post-match. But if you're not there, then keep your eyes and ears peeled for my match preview. Obviously, that's Saturday. We're going to have that live on Adam McKola TV. We recorded the full-time Devils preview this morning, so that's going to go out on full-time Devils very, very soon. Then we've got the live reaction show on Adam McKola TV as soon as I've finished fan cams from Carroll Road. Fan cams will be coming from full-time Devils as well from Carroll Road. So lots of content coming your way from me, from full-time Devils, from the gang. And next week I'll be bumping heads with Stephen Allison as well. So if you want us to do anything, get your thoughts in on that as well. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for keeping it locked. Make sure you continue to keep it locked to Adam McKola TV by hitting that subscribe button and tickle the notification button as well while you're at it so that we can get the notification gang going. Anyway, I've been Adam McKola, and for now, I'm out of here.